Please take a seat.
Kiss your ring and give you
I don't need to sound stern, but I'm not used to big audiences. First off, those of you that don't know me, my name is Jim Morano. I'll be your master of ceremonies this evening, so I'll apologize ahead of time. And I will apologize if there was any confusion this evening with everyone getting seated and finding where their seats were. This is the largest crowd we've ever had for a Hall of Fame dinner. And I can't thank you enough for attending. It's been a long year and a half trying to pull this thing off. And we've had tickets bought on several different occasions, most of them in bulk. And we really didn't know who was coming for who was sitting where. So we did the best we could. And I'm hoping that you are sitting at a table where you do know someone, or that you're able to honor the inductee that you're here to honor. That being said, if you do have a seat, you'll have a great time tonight, I can guarantee you. This is our 22nd, I was going to say annual, but it's not annual, we had to skip a year. It's our 22nd Wesley High School Athletic Hall of Fame, and we're very proud of that. Tonight we'll be inducting 8 new members to the Hall of Fame, which will bring the number of inductees to 178. Before I introduce you to tonight's inductees, would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'm not sure if we have a flag to hang out. Close your eyes and imagine. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could you please remain standing for a moment of silence in memory of the Hall of Fame members who have passed away, and in honor of all the brave men and women who serve our country in the military to protect our country on a daily basis. Thank you. Please be seated. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the Hall of Fame class of 2020. We still are calling this the Hall of Fame class of 2020. We just delayed the induction. If you notice, the programs, the date on the programs is March 28, 2020. That's when we were originally supposed to have this banquet, and wanted to keep everything the same as it should have been that evening. All of the citations that will be given tonight were dated and signed back in 2020. Our first inductee, if he would stand when I introduce him, graduate of the Wesley High School class of 1959, Jimmy Capizano. Jimmy. You'll get your turn a little later. Next, 1973 Wesley High School graduate. It is my pleasure to introduce David Smith. David. From the graduating class of 1978. Back there in the corner, it's tough to miss, Bobby Wall. Representing our next member of the Hall of Fame is his mom, his dad, and his brother, John, Tina, and John Jr. Spears, in honor of their son, Joey Spears, who passed away in 1992. So would the Spears family please stand up? From the Wesley High School class of 1993, please welcome our next inductee, Aaron Simmons. Our next Hall of Fame inductee graduated in 2001. Please welcome Amanda Samataro. Amanda, I apologize because now you're Amanda Samataro Burrell. I'll always know you as Amanda Samataro. I didn't mean to slay your husband. From the Wesley High School class of 2008, let me introduce to you Meredith Ward. And finally, the youngest member of the entire Wesley High School Hall of Fame, it is my honor to present Andrew Springer from the class of 2009. Before we end this portion of the speaking program, and before we share a blessing with one another, just very briefly, I would like to give a quick editorial on what it's been like the past year and a half. I know it's been tough on everyone, and during this time, we've all experienced some pain, some heartache, some anxiety, and some unrest. It's the world we live in. But finally, we made it here tonight. So please, let's join together as family and friends to honor tonight's inductees. And let's share in the joy and happiness of tonight's celebration. I think we all deserve that. So thank you for attending. And if you would, please bow your heads at this time. Lord, please bless all of our Hall of Fame inductees and everyone else here this evening, and thank you for the wonderful meal we were about to receive. Amen. I'll see you again after the thank you. I know we got a few stragglers that are just coming in now, but I'd like to get it going because we don't want it to be too lengthy for you tonight. Hope you all enjoyed your meal. How about a nice round of applause for the staff and to have a seat. They do such an excellent job for us every year. And anyone that would like to watch this again, we're being streamed live on westerly.live by Shane Belanger, who's a 1995 graduate of Westerly High School. So there are some people at home that are watching it now, in addition to you being able to watch it anytime in the future, along with any other athletic event in the state. Let me speak a little bit about tonight's inductees before we have the actual induction ceremony. They were selected by a committee of 5 people who carefully reviewed the applications of many potential candidates and decided on the selection of this group of Hall of Famers. As I mentioned earlier, there are only 108 members of the Hall of Fame, a very small number compared to the thousands of athletes who have competed for Westerly High School throughout the years. This committee takes very seriously its responsibility of selecting only those individuals who are worthy of this honor. In your program, members, besides myself, here tonight with us are Jamie Vitolino and Bob Caradillo. The other 2 members of the Hall of Fame are Wendy Carr and Principal of the High School, Mike Holben. Wendy was unable to be with us this evening. She had to attend the memorial service out of town, and she wanted to congratulate all of the Hall of Fame inductees on this honor. She is a member of the Hall of Fame as well. And Principal Holben said he was so sorry to miss this event because he has been out of school since the beginning of the year. He's dealing with some health issues, but he's on his way to recovery. And he said he looks forward to this probably as much as any other event throughout the year because it's such a positive thing for the community. It makes a great connection between the community and the school itself. And he said it's always something that he looks forward to. So on behalf of both of them, they wanted to congratulate all the inductees and we wish that they were here to honor you this evening. There are several other Hall of Famers in attendance this evening, and without a doubt, I would certainly be remiss in forgetting some of them. So rather than me introducing them, I'm going to ask them to all stand at this time. It'll be easier for me to introduce them to you. So if you are a member of the Hall of Fame, currently, would you please stand? And you are in attendance. George Greer and John Stolatano, if they would remain standing for a second. These 2 gentlemen, George Greer and John Stolatano, were in the original Hall of Fame class of 1999. They are the reason why we have a Hall of Fame, because of people like them. They were icons. They were in that original class, and as I said on the radio this past weekend, it took us about 5 minutes to select that first class because it was a no-brainer. They were legends, and they're still legends. And I'm happy to say that George Greer at the time was the youngest member inducted into the Hall of Fame in that original class. And it's so nice to see you. I know he traveled all the way from South Carolina or Virginia, George?
North Carolina.
North Carolina, I was close. So we appreciate you. It's like Westbury Park, right? It's so great to see you here this evening, and we thank you for coming, and it's just an honor to be able to recognize you again. And also Coach Stolatano, who currently is the oldest living member of the Hall of Fame. So that's quite an honor. I certainly look forward to seeing both of you back here in future Hall of Fame banquets. And thank you for attending this evening.
Thank you.
Tonight's inductees will receive a citation from Wesley High School that will be read by one of the Hall of Fame committee members, as well as citations from the town of Wesley, the Rhode Island House of Representatives, and the Rhode Island Senate. And as I said earlier this evening, these citations were produced a year and a half ago because that was the day in which we had the banquet. I really would appreciate just a little bit of quiet. Seriously, want to honor all our inductees. I'm not blaming anybody. I just want to honor the inductees and give them their due. Thank you. So you're going to see some names on there that probably are no longer in political office, but that's okay because that is when we had made the selection, and that's when these citations were produced. I'd like to thank the town council, the town clerk, Town Giordano, their staff, State Representative Sam Azzanaro, and State Senator Dennis Algier for all these citations. Each inductee will also receive a desktop award, video of tonight's banquet, an 8x10 color photo of the class of 2020, and your names will be permanently engraved on the Hall of Fame plaque that is proudly displayed in the lobby outside the Federico Gym at the high school. A picture of the Hall of Fame class of 2020 will also be on hand, will also hang on the wall next to the plaque. A special thanks to Negrelli's Jewelers for their assistance with these plaques. And again, we thank Shane for doing the filming for us this evening. I'd like to offer a special thanks to the Hall of Famers listed in your program who have made a contribution to the Hall of Fame, and certainly to the Wesley Community Credit Union for their generous support and sponsorship of the Hall of Fame each and every year. Without their support, we couldn't put on an event like this. And lastly, I want to publicly thank Denise Boulay and Deanna Fallon from Wesley High School for their assistance with the citations, the programs, the ticket sales, and all the correspondence with tonight's inductees. Their efforts are invaluable. We could not do it without them, neither could anyone else on the committee. And without their efforts, this affair would not be the success that it has been for the last 22 years. So please give them a round of applause. Okay, criteria. In order to be considered for the Hall of Fame, candidate must have been out of high school for at least 10 years. You must be a Wesley High School graduate or coached at Wesley High School or made a significant contribution to the athletic program. Athletic awards and accomplishments during the high school years and beyond are also considered for selection. This year's class has certainly met these criteria. It is made up of record holders, MVPs, all-staters, all-division selections, college athletes, and much, much more. I can't wait for you to hear all about their accomplishments as we introduce them and read their citations. First to be introduced this evening will be Jimmy Capizano. I'd like to ask Bob Carrier to come up and introduce him for us.
Good evening. As it always is, Hall of Fame night is a special one. Tonight we gather for the first time since the spring of 2019 to induct 8 new members into this exclusive club. And like past years, this is an excellent class. I'm pleased and honored to be presenting 2 gentlemen for induction this evening, Jim Capizano from the class of '59 and Bob Mall from the class of 1978. Both of these gentlemen achieved great things athletically at Wesley High School, and both are very special to me personally. First, Jimmy Cap. I've known Jim and Lana, Jamie, and Jimmy since I was 5 or 6 years old. Jimmy was one of my best friends. Jim was our dad's best friend. this Jim, our dad's best friend, and I'm proud to say we've been friends for over 50 years. And I know his friend is looking down with great pride at the well-deserved honor being bestowed upon his buddy this evening. Athletically, Jim was an innovator. Arguably, there hasn't been another Westerly High School quarterback like him. With the propensity of Westerly High School to run the football over the years, I'm probably not far off when I say that Jim's 854 passing yards in the 1957 season may never be broken. Or will his 10 touchdown passes in a single season be broken, even though we throw the ball a bit more now. I guarantee you no one draws up plays in the dirt anymore like Jim did in the 1957 Thanksgiving Day game. And if you have a couple of hours, Jim would be more than happy to tell you a quick story involving his many escapades off the field or court. Trust me, it is well worth the time. It's a privilege for me to present Jim for induction this evening. The citation reads as follows. You, Jimmy Capizano, a 1959 graduate of Westerly High School, played football for 3 years under legendary coach John Stellitano. You also played basketball for 2 years under Coach Stellitano, experiencing much success those 2 seasons. In your sophomore year, your team lost to LaSalle in the state finals, but you defeated South Kingstown for the state title your junior year and went to compete in the New England Championship at the old Boston Garden. It was as a football player, however, that you made your mark. You were captain of the team your senior year and earned honorable mention all Class B as a quarterback. That season, you threw 10 touchdown passes, the longest being for 88 yards, and you also had an 80-yard touchdown run. Your 10 touchdown passes, along with your total of 854 passing yards, are still the most ever for a Westerly High School quarterback in a single season. You are also credited with designing the Cappy Special, a play you created in the 1957 Turkey Day game that resulted in a 52-yard touchdown pass, which led to your team's victory over Stonington. After high school, you continued to be involved in sports, playing semi-pro baseball and softball for many years. Currently, you are a fencing contractor, a business you've owned for many years. Over that period of time, you have done a considerable amount of work for the town of Westerly, much of it on the town and school's athletic facilities, and on many occasions on a voluntary basis and free of charge. You have lived in Westerly your whole life, and to this day remain a loyal and dedicated Bulldog fan. For the positive influences that you have had on others as a role model and in recognition of your many accomplishments to which you have brought pride and fame to Westerly High School, in addition to the honor and distinction bestowed upon our community and state, you, Jimmy Capizano, are hereby inducted into the Westerly High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
But the one thing I'd like to quote Bobby is that I do fence run. We'll forget the football for now. Anyway, I'd like to thank the committee very much for choosing me to receive this wonderful honor. It comes a time in my life where, being my age, that I'm able to celebrate it with one of life's treasures. I'm able to celebrate it with my grandchildren tonight. I'd like to recognize a teammate Cal Capone. Cal, I threw the ball, but you caught it. And if you didn't catch it, I wouldn't be here. This is a story about how I got here and almost how I wasn't here. When I was in the 8th grade, I broke my elbow playing sandlot football at the old Elm Street School. So I had to have a pin placed into my elbow. So at that time, Dr. Gatchum wasn't around, so I had to go to Pawtucket at the Miriam Hospital to have the work done. When I got in the hospital, I had some other complications, so I was there a period of 8 days. Now my mom had to tuck me in bed every night, so she did either get a ride with my father or family or friends. And in them days, 95 wasn't built then, so it was kind of tough on her. So she developed a very, very bad taste for football. So I knew that I was going to have a tough time with her signing the insurance form or waiver. I don't know if they still do that or not, but in them days, the parents had to sign a form that it was all right to play football. So I started in the 9th grade asking her, "Ma, come September, you have to sign this paper so I can play football." "Are you crazy? We went through, you wouldn't want to break your arm?" So I kept it up, and I said, "Ma, please, you gotta sign the form." She goes, "Why don't you open up a book? Be like Dr. Monroe. They didn't play football. Don't you want to be like them?" "No, Ma. What do you want to be like?" "I want to be like Paul Honey." "Who's Paul Honey?" I said, "Paul Honey's the quarterback of Notre Dame." "Oh, you put a lot of food on your table." So anyway, I kept it up, and now it's getting serious because she wasn't going to sign. So my father, being the one that he always would figure out how he could benefit on things, one day he came to me and said, "I'll tell you what, if you paint the house, I'll get your mother to sign the paper." I said, "Beautiful, Dad. What room do you want me to paint?" No, he said, "Outside, the whole house." So he said, "Don't worry, I'll get somebody to paint the peaks." So anyway, a lot of you people know the house, but some of you don't know the house. The next time you ride by Tower Street, it's on the corner of Tower Street and Thompson Avenue, 63 Tower Street. It's enormous. 15-year-old boy, not for nothing, sometimes 15-year-old boys can't even talk today. Never mind paint the house. So anyway, I started painting the house, and I painted the house from June, and I got through about a couple weeks before football season. So I went to Coach Delatado, and he gave me the paper for my mother to sign. So I said, "Ma, sign this paper." "For what?" "I told you I was going to sign the paper. I painted the house." She said, "You made that deal with your father, not with me." Oh, brother, what are we going to do now? So now, I said, "Dad, Mommy don't want to sign the paper." "Huh, what do you want me to do, kill her?" She's a Gabriel. You know how stubborn them Gabriel people are. See what I've been going through all these years? So, but now it's getting serious. So, almost spring practice, so fall practice. So now, I said, "Dad, what am I going to do?" He said, "I don't know what to do." I said, "Hey, Mom, I'm going to run away." She said, "If you're going to run away, there's a big suitcase in the hall closet. Take that." So I said, "Oh, brother, that's not going to work. I'm too young to join the service. If I kill myself, I still can't play football." So I finally beat it on my father. Dad, please. So he said, "Okay, I'll tell you what. Tonight when we eat," he never called it supper. "Tonight when we eat, after we have the salad, we always had our salad last. So after we have the salad, you bring out the paper." So now I did. I said, "Ma, sign the paper. I'm going with this paper." That means again, I'm going. Let me digest my food, Jim. We just had a nice meal. So my father finally, the temper got up to his head, and he said, "Virginia, look." And he bent his hand. Now, for some of you people who don't know what that means, that's an old mafia gesture. What you do, you bite your finger, and you like to let the person that you're having a problem with look at the teeth marks. Come in the room. So they went in the room. I said, wait a minute, no, I don't have to play football. What do you mean you don't have to play football? I said, well, you're going to harm Mommy. I ain't going to harm you, dope. So he goes in the room, he comes out, and says, here's the paper, go play football. And she said, Jimmy, I have to say a rosary every day and play that Blessed Mother, you don't break your other arm. So anyway, I went to play football for Coach Solitano, and we had a nice relationship. And the coach took over football because of the sudden death of John DeGangi. So he coached basketball and football. So when the two seasons met, the coach would come out to the football field and get us going. He'd go in with the basketball team. They say, Cap, you take over. So I was like the coach. So doing that, I used to dream up plays, write plays, and that's when I wrote up a play called, at that time it was called the Capizano Special. Now it got shortened to the Cappy Special. So anyway, we were playing Stonington, and that was our Super Bowl. And we were losing with 5 minutes to play in the game. So I went to the coach, and I said, it was a timeout. Coach, can we try to play? He said, sure. And Carl will remember this. So I go back in the huddle, no one knew what to do. So I had to write down what to do on the dirt on the field. Anyway, the play worked for a 52-yard touchdown. So the coach of Stonington, Woody Duval, remember the name Duval for later on in the speech. Woody Duval come on the field and argued that the play was illegal.
He's a good guy.
So anyway, the play held up and we won the game. So 2 weeks later, now we're playing basketball at Stonington, and we were ahead 97-50. So the coach, there was 2.5 minutes to go in the game. The coach said to me, take care of the ball. I don't want to reach 100 points. Now, there was no three-point play then. So now, it was 2.5 minutes to go in the game. I think he said that. And then I would dribble the ball. Stonington stood back in the zone. They knew what we were doing. And then the student body was going, shoot the ball, shoot the ball. So I look at the clock. There was 3 seconds left. I said, even if I make it, I was at half court. Even if I make it, it's only 99. So I shot it, swish. So beautiful, home and off, 99. All of a sudden I look up, and Coach Solitano was chasing me like this. So I run in the locker room, he runs after me. He said, Capizano, you're off the team. Leave your uniform here and get your own transportation home. So I said, Coach, we didn't reach 100 points. He said, you shouldn't have shot the ball. All of a sudden, boom. Who comes through the locker room was Coach Duval, who I just said, remember that he was the football coach. So he tackles Coach Solitano, they're on the floor, and he said to Coach Solitano, you ran up the score. And I have to say, Coach Solitano had a pretty good left. Anyway, they break it up. Coach Solitano comes back to me, and he says, you're back on the team. You should have shot the ball before. Coach, I want to thank you very much. 62 years later, whoever would have dreamt this, you told somebody this and they say to take an aspirin and go back to sleep. 62 years later. And that leads me to introduce my table here. First of all, there's Diane Carradillo, chairman of the Wesley School Committee. And her dad, who's no longer with us, was co-captain with me. And Diane, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
And then there's the legendary Mary and John Solitano. Mary's going to be 97. And the legendary Coach Solitano is 98 years old. Yeah. Here's my grandchildren, Aiden and Gianna Benda. Aiden's a student at UMass, and hopefully hoping to do a career in law. And Gianna is an oncology nurse at the Boston Children's Hospital, and former captain of the Boston College track team. Then, my wonderful son-in-law. If I wrote it down, I couldn't ask for a better guy. And then there's my beautiful daughter, Jamie, I love you. And now there's one person missing, my wife took sick about 5 o'clock. So what I'm going to do is, because this is all going to be filmed, so she can look. So I'll look at my daughter and I'll make off I'm talking to my wife. Lana, I love you. And we actually did catch some of my footballs. On a Sunday, I go up her house and I actually throw the ball. But she didn't catch them too good like you, Carl. But anyway, Lana, I love you, and I'm very sorry you can't be here. You went through the whole thing with me. And that's it. So now, I'd like to leave you with this thought. There's one thing that I learned from football. You need blocking. Without blocking, you're going nowhere. So keep this in mind after tonight. Block for your spouses, block for your children, block for your friends. All my friends at the Bocce Club that are here tonight, let's block for each other up there. Now if you do that, you'll get the ball on the 50, you'll go to the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10, and you'll cross the goal line, and we'll all score touchdowns. Thank you very much for coming.
Again, I'd like to introduce our next call upon the Caribbean again to introduce our next inductee, Bob Wall. Bobby?
Bob Wall was one of the captains of the 1977 Wesley High School football team, which was my sophomore season. My first season as a starter. Bobby is my captain. He and Mike Mitchell were great role models for a young guy like me. Mitch, on top of being a great player, was loud, boisterous, while Bob led strictly by example. Few words. His dominating of opponents, playing through injury, as well as the way he welcomed everybody, from player number 1 to player number 100, made us all want to run through a wall for him. I still would. Bob was a tremendous leader. Although he had excellent quickness, a fast runner, Bob was not, however. His strides were extremely short, and I can't remember if it was Coach Orgieri or Barton or Bob Mitchell who spoke of using a sundial to time Bob in the 40 instead of a stopwatch. It was one of those guys, I can't remember. That said, in all seriousness, Bob was the epitome of what a captain should be. And certainly, without doubt, the finest I have ever served under at any level in my athletic career. We remain close to this day, and it is my honor to present him for induction this evening. The citation reads as follows. You, Robert R. Mall II, graduated from Wesley High School with a class of 1978. You participated in football, basketball, and track and you were recognized as one of the top weight men in the state as a track athlete, competing in the shot put, discus, and javelin. However, it was as a football player that you excelled. You were elected captain your senior year. Even to this day, many of your teammates still comment on your outstanding leadership skills. But it was on the field that you earned the distinction of being a Hall of Famer. You were a 3-year starter on on the offensive and defensive lines, as well as being the long snapper. You were selected first team All-Class B your senior year as an offensive tackle. You went on to be chosen for the Carl Millimacki Award as Westerly's top lineman, and you were the Rocky Marciano Scholarship Award winner given to an outstanding student athlete in the entire senior class. Upon graduating Westerly High School, you went on to play football at Middlebury College. On the freshman team, you started as a defensive tackle. As a sophomore, you played on special teams and the goal line defense. Your junior year, you broke into the starting lineup as a defensive tackle and long snapper. That year, your team finished 6-1-1, and your last game against Norwich University was televised on ABC as the regional game of the week. You remained in the starting lineup your senior year as a defensive tackle and long snapper, and you led the team in sacks. At the end of that season, your team was ranked number 1 in New England and number 6 in the East. That team that you were a starter on is considered to be the best ever at Middlebury. Along with your many achievements as a football player, you are also recognized as one of the best dog trainers in the region, and certainly would be in that Hall of Fame if they had one. For the positive influences that you have had on others as a role model and in recognition of your many accomplishments to which you have brought pride and fame to Westerly High School, in addition to the honor and distinction bestowed upon our community and state, you, Robert R. Mall II, are hereby inducted into the Westerly High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
Man, I gotta follow Kathy. This is like following Jerry Seinfeld. Yeah, I don't want to let you guys down, but I'm not going to be as entertaining as Kathy. But is it 3 or 4 minutes? I think it's 30 or 40 minutes, Coach. I'm not sure. Listen, thank you everybody for coming here tonight. I'm very honored. You know, this is kind of out of the blue for me when I got the phone call from. I can't remember if Bobby called me or Coach Moreno called me, but you know, I'm very honored and humbled to be inducted into the Westerly High School Hall of Fame. You know, football was my sport, and I played a little basketball, I played a little track, but the great football tradition of Westerly High, I'm so thankful to have been a part of that. I mean, the teams that were just before me or came before me, and Bobby was one of my teammates, and I have a couple of teammates back there, Oli Moore and Leo Beauclair. By the way, thanks for, they usually go to karaoke near the senior center on Friday nights. So, you know, my high school football career, I got to play for Coach Moreno, I got to play for Coach Rogeri. My senior year, Coach Barton, he was only here for a short time, but I got to play under him. It was what a great experience playing for those coaches. My teammates were awesome. I probably couldn't ask for a more meaningful, more enjoyable football experience in high school. Prepared me to go on to play, college ball, which was. It was great, but it's, high school you get to play with guys that play with us as we were just kids. I experience it is dear to me to this day. So anyways, I'm starting to get the laughs that for you guys that Jimmy Cap gave you. But again, I want to thank you all. Congratulations to all my fellow inductees. I wasn't sure. I thought you had to be out of high school for 20, 30 years, but then like Andrew and Meredith and Amanda, they were out like 3 weeks out of high school. They got right? So, anyways, congratulations to all you folks, and you know, hope you enjoy the rest of the ceremony. Thank you very much.
My honor and privilege to introduce our next couple of inductees. David Smith, well known throughout the community, served on the Wesley Police Force, was chief of police in Wesley for several years. He's had an outstanding career in law enforcement ever since then. However, he's proved his worth after his retirement, in many jobs he's held throughout the state of Rhode Island in law enforcement. As a police officer, a husband, a father, you couldn't ask for anybody better. He's a stand-up guy. But as an athlete, he was something special. And that's why we're here tonight honoring him. David, your citation reads as follows. You, J. David Smith, have reserved a place in the Wesley High School Athletic Hall of Fame. A 1973 graduate of Wesley, your accomplishments as a runner and your impressive career in law enforcement have earned you this distinction. As a runner in high school, you competed in the mile relay. You constantly were improving upon your times, and by the end of your sophomore year, you had lowered your time in the mile to 4 minutes and 40 seconds. That summer, you entered the NCAA Regional 25K run, and you were the top runner in your age group, finishing 31st overall. The next year, as a junior, you continued to excel in the mile event, but you also competed in the mile, in the 2 mile, the half mile, and even the quarter mile if needed. It was also during the junior year that you and one of your teammates, on several occasions, broke the school record for the mile, with runs in the 4:30s. However, it was your senior year that you finally eclipsed the school mark, with a time of 4 minutes and 27.9 seconds. That record stood for 20 years until it was broken by another Hall of Fame inductee, present-day athletic director, Jamie Vetolino. By the time you finished your high school career, you were among the top runners in the state, despite not winning the state finals in the mile run. It was a tremendous honor to be one of the top seeds in that event, included among the elite runners at the time. Your career at Wesley High School was not without controversy, however. During your senior year on the track team, several of your less talented team members and some female track athletes were going to be cut. You took a stand against the action, and eventually, no one was cut from the team. What you did, in some respects, opened the door to the outstanding girls track teams we currently have at Wesley High School. After high school, you ran for the URI cross-country, indoor and outdoor track teams. You also entered in and won the popular Larry Hirsch Elks 2.7 mile race, competing against hundreds of other runners. You also ran in the Boston Marathon in 1984 and finished the 25-mile race in an impressive time of 3 hours and 44 minutes. You also did a brief stint as assistant Wesley High School track coach, coaching your runners. But it has been your career in law enforcement that has separated you from the others. You have undergraduate and advanced degrees from Salve Regina, Babson College, and the FBI National Academy. You have served as Chief of Police for Westerly and Narragansett. In 2004, you were elected President of the Rhode Island Police Chiefs Association. For 8 years, you were the Graduate Program Director for the Administration of Justice and Homeland Security at Salve Regina University, serving as Department Chair for 4 years. You were the Director of the Rhode Island Emergency Management Agency and currently are the Director for the Emergency 911 Agency in Rhode Island. You have 3 children, Sarah, Jim, and Gabby. You and your wife, Dawn, live in Narragansett, Rhode Island. For the positive influences that you have had on others as a role model and in recognition of your many accomplishments, to which you have brought pride and fame to Wesley High School. In addition to the honor and distinction bestowed upon our community and state, you, J. David Smith, are hereby inducted into the Wesley High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
Coach, principal, friend, Mr. Moreno, I can't be any more grateful for such a kind introduction. You know, it's amazing what you can do if you just live long enough. It's one of those things that when I started thinking about this honor, and by the way, I'm just really flattered by being honored on a night when there's so many distinguished athletes here, and looking at the list, the other 177 members in this Hall of Fame are most of which I know, some I don't, but I know that they all share just a remarkable achievement, both athletically in civic affairs, and more important than anything else as family members. So one of the things that I like to do sometimes is interject some humor. And so, as already mentioned, my wife Dawn is here tonight, and as a best friend and a mentor, I consulted with her about remarks to say. She said, please, don't say anything funny. It's just not funny. So, you know, I thought about the countless gifts and memes, hand over the face, head shaking, you know, those kinds of things. And I said, yeah, you're probably right. So, the last thing I really wanted to do was work Mr. Moreno up into a ladder. It just wouldn't be right. And you know, Meredith, your mom is always going to be a friend to the community. And you know, we could go on and on. But and Jimmy, you know, it's great to see you again. And you know, I know that this decision to accept this award tonight is something that you're never on the fence about that. So now that I've embarrassed my family, and especially my daughter Gabriella, who is with us here this evening, flew in all the way home. I love you both, and mention I'm just such an honor to privilege to have 3 beautiful children. You know, there's a theme that I think is pretty important, pretty special, and I have to shake it up a little bit because I met some folks here tonight that I didn't expect, and so I'm going to go off script a little bit, but there is an important script that I think is really important. And you know, athletes share a common purpose. It's never about recognition, individual recognition. You know, even as a track athlete, when you may be running in circles alone and competing against the clock, it's always to compete in the interest of, in our case, Wesley High School Bulldogs, the team, and those points that you may earn that can add up, you hope, to a victory for the Bulldogs on the track. But it's also, you know, when you look at athletics, it's something you hear a lot in pro sports now, where they have campaigns on TV where they talk about that it's okay to not be okay. And so I want to talk about that a little bit tonight because I think it's just so important. At Wesley High School, and if you notice on the bottom of the letters and so on, there's a quote. I guess it's the vision statement, and it says, quote, "A place where learning has no limits and academic excellence is measured one student at a time." Very nice. But it's also a place where we, as students, as graduates, live the lyrics of a ballad fraught with filtered memories. It's the mind's way of recalling those special times and blocking out the challenges of adolescent drama, remember those days, deadlines, homework, and uncertainty. As I'm profoundly humbled and honored to share this with 177 other alumni, I know that we are uniquely qualified by gender, sport, event, team, and generation. This is one of those special times, both tonight and as a chance to recall those special years of competition and friendship. And I'm joined here tonight, and unexpectedly, by three of my closest friends from high school, Anthony Ubriori, Jerry Wilson-Croft, and Glenn Gatchone. And it was just such a complete surprise, and so I'm very grateful that you're here tonight. Okay, thank you very much. They threatened me, they said my speech was going to be the longest of the night because they were going to heckle me, so I just hope that you'd be a little bit patient. Adele is arguably one of the most gifted singers of a generation. She has also recently distinguished herself by a transformation in public message. She lost 100 pounds by managing stress and anxiety through exercise and sport. In so many ways, it's the obverse side of the academic coin, athletics, that helps high school students manage the emotion of adolescence, and we can never forget that at WHS. Induction into the Westerly High School Athletic Hall of Fame is at face value about individual athletic accomplishment. The running was never about me for recognition, but rather to provide inspiration, you hope, an example for others to find the joy and benefits of exercise. It was also a way to help our very successful track team to be victorious as a group that was diverse and inclusive, as was mentioned. You know, tonight I also was surprised, but also pleased to recognize 50 years ago, Coach Jack Carson, who in my sophomore year was that mentor, that inspiration, and a tough coach. We all, the distance team, were stuffed into his car. We were like a clown car. And he would drive us down to the beach and dump us off and say, okay, run until you see me again. And so we'd run as fast as we could, and we'd get to his car, and he'd laugh, and he'd say, okay, we're going to do it all over again. And we just kept doing it, and building that base, and building that stamina, building the character, and building what was really a pretty special distance squad. And Jack Carson will always be somebody who is a special coach, and I'm always going to be grateful for that. The following year, Coach Ed Renola, I think everybody took a step back, and there was Ed, right? He was a teacher, and maybe a reluctant coach, but what a tremendous coach, and a wonderful person. And Coach Ed Renola came around at a time in life when I lost my dad in 1972. And you know, at the time, you don't really want to talk about those things. And athletics was a way to kind of work through the anxiety and depression. Ed Renola was also that coach, along with Jack Carson and others, who really helped me and all of you, all of the others out there that are dealing with or have dealt with difficult situations. The academics many times leads to the career, but it's the athletics that really helps everybody get through those most difficult times. So I talked about Adele, and she just dropped a song last night. Boy, look at me, you know, gifts, memes, drop the song. You know, you might think I'm some young guy, I'm not. But her song is quite remarkable, and the song is Easy on Me. And it's a song that's not about leaving. It's a song about savoring. It's remembering. It's preserving. The same can be said about tonight. Thank you for the honor and for the memories to come.
In 1991, I gave up my coaching career, went into administration. And at that point in time, the next two athletes that I'm going to introduce to you were students of Wesley High School. I got a whole different perspective being able to watch them as an administrator than probably I would have if I was still coaching. Because I think you get so focused on the people that you coach, you don't really have an appreciation of the athletes that compete in other sports. Fortunately for me, I had an opportunity to have an appreciation for the next two inductees because I watched them throughout their career in high school compete in several different sports. And at that time, you knew that they were headed down a road that was going to be very, very special. The first one I'd like to introduce to you tonight is Aaron Simmons. And Aaron, your citation reads as follows. You, Aaron Simmons, a 1993 graduate of Wesley High School, distinguished yourself as a student athlete in two sports during your 4 years in high school. As a basketball player, you were a starter in your junior and senior years, earning all academic honors in both those seasons. As a member of the baseball team, you started all 4 years on the varsity team, which included many highlights and achievements during this time. In your freshman year, you got the game-winning RBI against Coleman at McCoy Stadium. As a junior, your team won the Class B Southern Division Championship, as well as the Class B State Championship. That year, your record as a pitcher was 10-1, including going the distance and winning one of the state final games against Mount St. Charles. You finished the season with 77 strikeouts in 83 innings and compiled an ERA of 1.77. You were named First Team All-Division and selected to the All-Academic team. Your senior year, you registered 68 strikeouts in 53 innings with a 3.16 ERA. You were First Team All-Division, First Team All-Academic, and you were chosen to play in the State All-Star Game. You were also elected to represent Wesley High School as a finalist for the Providence Journal Honor Roll Award, which is given to the top student athletes throughout the state. As a result of your outstanding career as a student athlete at Wesley, you were awarded a scholarship to play baseball at Brown University under former Major Leaguer Billy Allen, as well as another former Major Leaguer and legendary Wesley High School Hall of Famer, Dave Stenhouse. Your career at Brown was just as impressive as the one in Wesley. You played 4 years on the baseball team as a pitcher, and you were appointed captain your senior year. While at Brown, you were selected as the baseball team representative to the Student Athlete Advisory Board. Your sophomore year, you led the team in ERA, and as a junior, you had the most wins for a pitcher. In April of 1997, you pitched a complete game shutout against Cornell University. Unfortunately, this memorable achievement prevented you from attending the dedication of the renaming of the Wesley Little League field after your dad, since they both happened at the same time. Currently, you are a portfolio manager at Washington Trust, but you find the time to spend 9 months of the year coaching baseball to young ball players of various levels and talents. It is your way of expressing your love for the game. You and your wife, Michelle, live in Westerly and are the parents of 3 children. For the positive influences you have had on others as your role model, and in recognition of your many accomplishments, to which you have brought pride and fame to Wesley High School, in addition to the honor and distinction bestowed upon our community and state, you, Aaron Simmons, are hereby inducted into the Wesley High School Athletic Department.
Thank you very much, everybody, for coming out. I'm not nearly as talented as the other folks that have gone before me in wing this stuff. So, in the spirit of preparation, which was very important when I came to pitching, I prepared and typed a little bit up here. So, Thanks very much to the Athletic Hall of Fame Committee for bestowing me with this honor. Congratulations to all the other recipients and their families, and to those that inspired them all along the way. First, I'd like to take a moment to thank my coaches. Special thanks to Coach Reed for him always making discipline, respect, and our academics the most important priorities. Baseball and winning was stressed, but it was always secondary. Thanks to Coach Doherty for helping me to develop confidence and self-belief when it came to pitching, and to instill in me the concept of trusting the process. To Frank DeBate for always being there for me, both in high school and in college, and serving as that constant reminder how fortunate and truly blessed I was to be able to play a game I loved so much and for so long. I'd also like to take a moment and thank the great game of baseball. In addition to the countless memories it has provided me over the years, even as recently as this past Monday night in the bleachers with my boys at Fenway Park for a series walk-off win, it is about so much more than that. First, it certainly helped me be able to further my education at an Ivy League institution. Also, through coaching, baseball provides me a platform to give back today. It allows me to teach kids to be part of something bigger than themselves, to win with humility, and to lose with grace. It's a game that will humble you quickly, and it is filled with moments of failure at every turn. Teaching kids how to battle through that adversity is an invaluable life skill that they can hopefully draw upon later in life. I also want to take a moment to thank my teammates who have their own separate table, which is great to see. I think there was only 11 kids on the team, and there's 9 of them here now, so I think that's pretty cool. As you can see tonight with this amazing turnout, we had a pretty special thing going on back in 1992 when we won the state championship. To this day, we are still so proud of what we accomplished. This award really is all about them, and I see myself simply as receiving it on their behalf. These guys were the best players on the field, the best friends off the field. An amazing chemistry where everyone knew their individual role within the team, and we executed for the greater good. Pretty magical things can happen on a diamond when it truly becomes about we and not just about me. Thanks, guys. And finally, I'd like to say thank you to my family, to my mom, my most vocal fan. Thanks for all the rides and everything else that went along with being a baseball mom. To Uncle Bob and Aunt Jeannie. I have fond memories of them attending many, many games over the years, spring break trips, even post-game Brown family receptions. To my brother, who quite simply I think it was my #1 fan. To Nani, for all your love over literally the past 30 years. You've helped me get through the many curveballs that you can throw our way. You've always been there for me. And to my kids, Lila, Shep, and Grayson, thank you for keeping me young and engaged and humble. Though you clearly weren't around when I was in high school. The love and confidence you have in me, it challenges me each and every day to show up and to be present and to strive to be the best possible dad I can be. And to my wife, Michelle, who I've literally known since 4th grade, who supported me the entire way along this baseball journey. Even now, I think I might spend more time on the baseball diamond each year coaching than I actually do at home. Her support has been undeniably unwavering, but also her ability to keep it real, to remind me that it is just a game. I'm so, so thankful for it. This award would simply not have ever happened if she wasn't in my life for the last 30+ years. And lastly, this award is dedicated to my dad. It will be 25 years this coming Monday that he passed away. I can literally count on one hand the number of games he missed over my entire playing career. To know he was always there for me, he had such a lasting impact, and for that I will always be most thankful. Thanks again to the committee, congrats again to all the recipients, and as my boys like to say, let's go Sox.
probably stand up here for the rest of the evening and talk about our next inductee. Because I was very fortunate to get to know her so very, very well while she was in high school. And I was principal at the time. And she was one of those students that, in addition to being a tremendous athlete, she was a tremendous leader. She was a tremendous person. She excelled in whatever she decided she wanted to do. She was so very well respected that you knew that a few years down the road, I would be standing here talking about her, or someone else would be standing here talking about her, and she would be sitting in the audience getting inducted into the Wesley High School Athletic Hall of Fame. It was inevitable. You were one of those types of people that this was your place. So it's my honor to read your citation to you. And before I read it, just to show you the kind of person she is, when I called her last evening, I told her she had to be here at 6 o'clock. She says, "Is there any doubt? I didn't miss a day of school in 4 years. You don't think I'm going to be late for my Hall of Fame induction ceremony, do you?" You, Amanda Samataro Borelli, were an excellent athlete who excelled in several sports while at Wesley High School. You graduated in 2001, having played volleyball, softball, basketball, and tennis. In addition to being a member of these 4 teams, you were also class president your sophomore, junior, and senior years, when you were once selected as the WHS Student Athlete of the Week. There is no other fitting term to describe you than student athlete. You were the epitome of a student athlete during your 4 years at Wesley High School. In your freshman and sophomore years, you played volleyball, and despite being a very good player, you decided to switch to softball your junior and senior seasons. As a member of the softball team, you were selected MVP your junior year and named to the all-division team your senior year. While at Wesley High School, you played basketball and tennis all 4 years. As a sophomore on the basketball team, you were selected as the most valuable player of the Wesley Community Credit Christmas Tournament, as well as being chosen to the all-tournament team your junior and senior years. The same seasons, you also made all-division, and during your senior year, you led the team with 26 three-pointers, averaging 8.9 points a game, and leading the team in assists. Your accomplishments as a tennis player were just as impressive. You made all-division your sophomore, junior, and senior years. You were the team MVP as both a junior and a senior, and your record your senior year was 14-3 as the team's top singles player. After graduating from Wesley High School, you attended Pace University on a tennis scholarship. While at Pace, you were named to the Northeast 10 All-Conference team 2 of your 4 years, and you compiled the career singles record, 35 wins and 15 losses, as well as the doubles record of 32 wins and only 13 losses. Currently, you live in White Plains, New York, and you are a computer science teacher at PSMS School in the Bronx. You have been married to your husband, Chris, since 2009, and you have 2 children, Emma, 8, and Nora, 3. For the positive influences you have had on others as a role model and in recognition of your many accomplishments, to which you have brought pride and fame to Wesley High School, in addition to the honor and distinction bestowed upon our community and state, you, Amanda Samataro Borelli, are hereby inducted into the Wesley High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
First and foremost, I'd just like to congratulate my fellow inductees and thank the committee for this incredible honor. Tonight, I am full of so much love, gratitude, and pride for my hometown. Westerly is a small town with a big heart. One of the reasons I love Westerly so much are the fantastic rec programs. And as I look around the room, I see the Spears family, who started the Westerly Town Tennis Program and made tennis accessible for me and my family. It instilled skills and it allowed me to play at a high level in high school and into college, and I am forever grateful. I see so many coaches here. I see Mr. Ward, who was my red team Y coach, and Frank Abate, who was my green team Y coach, and Mr. Marsiglio, and Kevin Marone, who was my first coach ever on the soccer field. And I see Mr. Simmons, who I remember him coaching me too. And it's so special that our community rallies around everyone. And my favorite coach, my cousin Chris, who always coached me with kindness, compassion, and was there to score almost every high school basketball game with his wife Carmen. It was so special to see him there then, and it's special to see him here now. Nothing was quite like playing at Similary Field, at Pondview, or at the Federico Gym. Even playing tennis in college, nothing quite felt like playing at home. I loved playing the games I loved with the people I grew up with, seeing their parents that became like family cheering us on, having pasta dinners at the Gardners, the Gepler, and the Morin houses. It was so memorable. And I remember losing our last game to Barrington our senior year, and I felt sad and empty, not because we lost, because it was my last time being a Bulldog. Hugging my teammates and thinking, that's it. Playing always made me feel so alive and was so fun, and I wondered how that void would be filled. But it was quickly filled with my wonderful husband, Chris, my girly girls, Emmett and Nora, who I hope fall in love with the sport one day. And I have the best friends who are family. Carolyn and Jen, thank you for making the trek here. I love you guys. The Rataco family, who now cheer my girls on, who once cheered me on at the gymnasium. And my brother, who's the best uncle, who trekked here in the middle of a move with 2 kids under 2. And all the family members that made it here tonight, I love each and every one of you, and you're special to me. Being a coach and teacher myself, I know what goes into the job. I know my coaches were not there for the paycheck. They were there because they loved what they did. Thanks to all my coaches, Mr. Luppy, Coach Collins, Mr. Simmons, Mr. Fusco, Mr. Taco. I appreciate all the time and passion that you put into your job. And there are 2 people that I would like to share this honor with. My mom and dad. I know everyone knows Squeak, one of the best cooks in town, and usually very quiet and soft-spoken, except when he was on the sidelines of a basketball game yelling at the ref. You could hear him in Pawcatuck. I think this is where he let loose and let his voice be heard. Thank you for everything, Dad. All your love and support over the years, and now sorting the girls and whatever they do and whatever we do. The last person I'd like to acknowledge may have been a little more excited than me for this honor, my mom, Peggy. She was an advocate for my brother and I in every way. You could find her at every game cheering us on, looking like a Nervine, as she would say. Talk about passion. She loved this. She loved sports, and she loved us so much. She did not miss 1 game in 3 sports over 4 years. This made me feel so loved and special, and I never took it for granted for 1 minute. My mom truly embodied the Westerly Bulldog spirit and loved her family and our community. Thank you again, and have a great evening.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jamie Vedolino. I'll be inducting the final 3 members of this year's class. First, just congratulations to everyone involved with putting on this evening. We had a lot of help from the main office at Wesley High School, and I'm so thankful for especially Deanna Fallon and all the work she does. Certainly, this is, and I say every year, one of the highlights of the year, but it's been way too long since I've been able to stand up here and look at a class of inductees, and I'm so proud to be a part of this group, specifically because of all the connections that I have, whether it be breaking one person's record or the person who broke that record afterwards being right behind me. You know, neighbors, friends, friends of families. This is just such a wonderful community to be a part of, and every year that I come here to do this, that back table is actually scary looking at you all now. It's just an amazing group to see, only because we know why they're here. We know why everyone is here to watch and why we get 150 people when other people are scared to be next to each other. So, extremely thankful to be here. Now, the first person I'm going to induct is, I'm working on my 19th year as athletic director, and this is the first person that I was able to watch participate in sports for 4 years and absolutely dominate a sport. I have not seen anything like it in basketball, boys or girls, since she left. Probably won't. I don't really expect to see anything like it in basketball going forward either. What she accomplished prior to the Christmas tournament in her freshman year is what most basketball players would strive for in a 4-year career. So I'm really proud and happy to be able to read Meredith Ward's citation. You, Meredith Ward, class of 2008, played soccer, softball, and basketball at Wesley High School, earning letters in each sport. You were a 4-year starter as a point guard on the basketball team and elected captain your junior and senior years. Your teams won the Division II Southern Division Championship from 2006 to 2008. From 2005 to 2008, you received numerous awards for your accomplishments on the basketball court. These include being selected First Team All-Division 4 times, First Team All-State twice, as well as being picked for the New London Day All-Area Team 3 times. In 2007, you were the Rhode Island Gatorade Player of the Year, along with being selected as a McDonald's All-American finalist. You finished your career as a basketball player as the all-time leading scorer, male or female, with 2,226 points. This record still stands to this day. After high school, you earned a scholarship to Division I Holy Cross, where you played basketball for 4 years and captained the team for 2 years. During your career there, you were in the top 5 in scoring and assists as a junior, and in the top 5 in scoring, assists, and steals as a senior. In 2012, you won the Samantha Velascio Award, which is presented annually to the women's basketball player who best exemplifies the mission of Holy Cross both on and off the court. You were a member of the Holy Cross Leadership Academy, and you participated in the So You Want to Be a Coach program at the Women's NCAA Division I Final Four. You graduated from Holy Cross in 2012 with a degree in economics, and you became an assistant women's basketball coach at Brown University for the 2012-2013 season. You then went on to become an account executive for the WNBA Connecticut Sun team from 2013 to 2015, while also joining the sidelines and assistant women's basketball coach at Connecticut College for the 2013-2014 season. You then became head girls basketball coach at Fitch High School for 1 season before relocating to Boston, where you became the account executive for IMG at Boston College in 2015-2016. Currently you work at Inova Surgical as the medical device territory sales manager for the North Shore, and you are living in Berryport, Massachusetts. Found where the money was. For the positive influences that you have had on others as a role model and in recognition of your many accomplishments, to which you have brought pride and fame to Westerly High School, in addition to the honor and distinction bestowed upon our community, state, you, Meredith Ward, are hereby inducted into the Westerly High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
First, I'd like to congratulate all of the other inductees here tonight. It's an absolute honor to stand beside all of you and celebrate together. I'd also like to congratulate all of the other inductees that have stood before me here tonight. Thank you to Mr. Morano and the Westerly Hall of Fame Committee for putting together such an absolute wonderful celebration. Thank you to Wesley High School and Jamie Vitalino for the opportunity to represent such a wonderful school and athletic program. I'd like to start by saying it was an absolute privilege to play the game of basketball, and growing up, I made sure to never take advantage of the opportunities I had to play. From late nights at the YMCA, early morning workouts, and weekend AU tournaments, the sacrifices were endless. But I wouldn't trade it for anything. It was what I wanted and what I truly enjoyed. My fiance Megan, who is here with me tonight, constantly quotes movie scenes. And my comment is always, I've never seen that one. She then says, what did you do when you were growing up? My response was, I was working on my jump shot. She laughs, but it was true. I will say I was extremely lucky to be surrounded by such a great team. From softball, soccer, and basketball, my teammates always challenged me and have given me memories I will never forget. My coaches pushed me each and every day to be better. The list of coaches who made a huge impact on my career goes on and on. Coach Holly Misto, who couldn't be here tonight, was instrumental in my growth, not only as an athlete, but a person. Her passion for the game and her players never went unnoticed, and she not only developed better basketball players, but better people. My friends, no matter how many movies, birthdays, or hangout sessions I missed, they always made a priority to cheer me on and wish me luck. As a student athlete, my teachers provided me with the best foundation to attend Holy Cross, where academics always came first. The Westerly community was always positive and proud, and I will say Westerly, Rhode Island is an unbelievable hometown. It's so good to be back. The Westerly Sun always made sure to capture every milestone, and their dedication to Westerly sports and the athletes is very much appreciated. Now, I'll not be standing up here tonight without my family, my favorite team. My mom Linda, dad Jim, sister Christy, brother Jimmy, and brother Tyler are all here tonight. Thank you guys for being here. As I talked about sacrifices earlier, the sacrifices, of course, were not only endured by me, but also by them. For them, mostly not by choice. Christy, Jimmy, and Tyler. As they say, sisters and brothers just happen. We don't get to choose them, but they become one of our most cherished relationships. Being brother and sister means being there for each other. For me, it was having 3 best friends you can't get rid of. You know, whatever you do, they'll still be there. So I knew, win or lose, 10 points or 30 points, you'd still be a shoulder for me to cry on, someone to yell at, or be ready to lose at one-on-one the next day. As much as we all had our own sport to focus on, we always made time to support each other or compete against each other. Jimmy and Tyler knew the only way I wouldn't score is if they fouled me, and the only way they would score is if they cried for a foul. We may have left some games of 21 with sprained ankles and bloody cuts. Dad was always worried, but at the end of the day, it was competitive love and our unique bond. I thank you both for all that you have done for me. Now, my sister Christy, an inductee of the 2011 Westerly Hall of Fame class, was a role model that every little sister dreamed of. As firstborn and big sister, she always knew best, and as mom and dad got soft, she did not hesitate to put me in my place. Now, with her doctorate in exercise science, her hard work and determination to succeed was all I aspired to match. I'd say we did pretty good, reaching Hall of Fame honors, and now have total bragging rights over our brothers. Also, to my brother-in-law Chris and sister-in-law Christina, who are both here tonight, I'd say the argument for best sport athlete is over. Now, Mom and Dad, you have raised 4 successful college graduates. No words can truly thank you for your dedication to our goals and successes. I could not have done this without you. Mom, also known as many students' favorite gym teacher, I don't know how you did it. From teaching, traveling from one kid's sporting event to another, cooking, cleaning, shopping with Carol. No matter what, you're always there, sometimes late. The teacher side of you never let me miss a day of school, even if it meant spending a morning in the nurse's office to later have emergency appendix surgery. And yet, the mom side of you meant you were the first one there. You made sure Grandpa Friend got to the games. I know he would be so proud of me today. No words can truly thank you for all that you've done and continue to do for me. Dad. To many and myself, also known as Coach, thank you. You are a true definition of sacrifice. Again, from working a full-time job, to coaching, to weekend tournaments, late night rebounding or arguments, and AAU practices, I also don't know how you did it. Your time, knowledge, and efforts never went unnoticed, even though sometimes I questioned whether you're working on my jump shot or his. You always want what was best for me, and you're always the first one to tell me good job, or that was absolutely terrible. I am forever grateful for all that you've done and continue to do for me. Now, the impact sports can have on your life is truly inexpressible. I just want to leave it with this. I hope throughout my journey, I have inspired, challenged, and motivated young student athletes who just love the game of basketball and want to be the best player and person they can be. I'd say with the best team, any sacrifice is worth it. In closing, I am truly honored and humbled and happy to accept this award on behalf of my team. Thank you very much.
So somebody had noticed earlier, looking at the pamphlet, how many track athletes are now entering in the Hall of Fame, and certainly, you know, Coach Palmer and sitting over here, Coach Federico, you know, he's really had the biggest impact on our track program, almost a quarter century now, and there's not a school aside from Hendricken or LaSalle that can even come close to rivaling what we've done over that time period, and his athletes continue to be put into the Hall of Fame because of what he does and what the rest of the coaches do and how hard these kids work. But on the other side, there are other sports that don't quite line up with Hall of Fame status as much. And our next inductee falls into that category. We've had what I can count on one hand, maybe part of the second hand, all-staters in boys tennis. It's just one of those sports that we can't compete with some of the private schools as other sports can. And our next inductee was able to compete with them, not for 1 year, not for 2 years, but for all 4 years, and earn status as being an all-stater twice. So we have very few male tennis players, and the ones that we do have are just amazing, amazing athletes that, you know, they're not able to inspire a whole generation like some of our track athletes and our female basketball players have been able to do. So I'm going to ask for John Spears to stand while I read this. Joseph C. Spears, an outstanding Wesley High School athlete, will be remembered as one who brought pride and distinction to Wesley High School and the community. Dating back to the early 1900s when Wesley athletes started taking to the fields, courts, and courses, Bulldogs have prided themselves on being successful academically, athletically, personally. Bulldogs never believe you have to choose. Rather, you can be great in everything you do. In the summer of '92, we lost a true Bulldog in Joseph Spears to leukemia. He had just completed his freshman year at the University of Rhode Island and was the #6 singles player for the tennis team. He undoubtedly would have achieved both academic and athletic greatness while he was there. As a teammate and classmate, he was universally loved, someone who was fearless, a leader, and had a kind heart to everyone he met. On the playing field and court, he was tenacious. Joe was a 3-year soccer player, earning letters his junior and senior years. In his senior year as captain of the team, he also earned first team all-division honors. His athletic prowess, however, was on full display as a 4-year letter winner for the Bulldogs tennis team. He played as the #1 singles player throughout his career. Twice he was named team MVP, captain, and earned 3 all-division awards. His final 2 seasons, he compiled a 30-9 record, playing solely against #1 singles players. In 1990, he earned his first All-State honor, making him one of a handful of Bulldogs to ever earn that distinction. He came back in '91 to earn it again, cementing his legacy as one of the greatest Bulldogs tennis players in school history. Since his graduation, only 2 Bulldogs have been able to come close to matching his career highlights, and one is his brother, John. For the positive influence that Joseph had on others as a role model, and in recognition of his many accomplishments, for which he brought pride and fame to Wesley High School, in addition to the honor and distinction bestowed upon our community and state, Joseph C. Spears is hereby inducted into the Wesley High School Athletic Hall of Fame, and his brother John will be receiving the award.
Many of you were lucky enough to know Joe. Joe loved to compete, whether it was tennis, soccer, cards, he loved it. He had a lot of fight in him. He loved the battle. And if you look at his history, you can understand why. He had a chip on his shoulder. Joe came to live with us when he was 5. I was 3 and a half. I still remember one of the first nights. He took all my blocks. I didn't know what the hell he was doing. He took all my Army men and all my Matchbox cards, and he pulled them in the hallway, and he divided them. And he was just, he's like, you go down there, you make some walls, put your Army men out, and I said, okay. And then he's like, and these Matchbox cards, these are our missiles. And we would just launch them down the hallway. And when you're out of cars, the game was over, and whoever had the most Army men standing won. And then I was like 3 and a half, and he was 5. This is the game he came up with. You know? But as I thought back, I was like, I'm lucky. Because I have so many good memories. So many. Like, who could get who in more trouble? This is one of my favorite games. When I was like 4, you know, Joe grew up in foster homes. He was street smart. I grew up on a farm. You know, we had chickens and cows and goats. What the hell did I know? I didn't know anything. And one day my dad's like, hey, come look at this. In the side of my dresser, there's the most colorful vocabulary I've ever seen. and you know, I won't repeat it. I didn't even know how to spell these words. I couldn't even read. But at the bottom was my name. He signed my name. It was beautiful. And I was like, man, this kid's smart. This kid's smart. He knows what he's doing. And then there was this Easter. I don't know who thought this was a good idea, but someone bought us boxing gloves. They were like 10 and 12. And then, you know, Mike Toronto knocked out all of Sunnyside Drive. It was just a beautiful thing. And then there was tennis. Tennis is a funny game. You can look a lot better than someone, and they can just be smarter than you. And that's how I look at our relationship on the tennis court. He would let me get up 5 love. and he would talk me out of it. He loved to jaw. He would jaw with all his opponents. He was fully into, when he competed, he loved every aspect of it. Jamie spoke about his freshman year at college. Many of you probably don't know his story, but a couple weeks into his freshman year, he was diagnosed with leukemia and started treatment, came home Christmas Eve, 5'8", who knows, 110, 115 pounds. Just not much left. And he was in remission, went back to college, walked onto the URI tennis team, and made it. He finished that season. I never got to see him play. And he passed away that summer. But a couple weeks after he passed away, this local tennis pro, Providence, it's just, like James said, it's a small tennis world. We usually all know each other. Glenn Gamma, he called me. He's like, I want to share a story with you. And it was about Joe at the Atlantic 10 tennis tournament. And his last tennis match. They played Temple. He's like, there's your brother. He's out there playing against this 6'4" beast. Your brother's 120 pounds maybe. And Joe beat him in 3 sets. And that's just how he was. Didn't matter. He always thought he could win. Sorry, that's it.
This class is certainly full of Bulldogs. Our final inductee tonight, when I read a citation, it'll almost be in a different language with the amount of numbers, meters. Deanna thought it was miles, so we had to reprint this a few times. But, you know, whatever I read is really only a small inkling into how successful this student athlete was while he was at Wesley High School and then at Georgetown as well. So I'll just read the citation and let Andrew do some talking. I know he wants to do that. You, Andrew Springer, an outstanding Wesley High School athlete, have brought pride and distinction to yourself, Wesley High School, and the community. Andrew Springer graduated from Wesley High School as the most decorated male student athlete to ever compete for the Bulldogs. His production for the track and field team is unmatched and not even close to being rivaled. He is a true once-in-a-lifetime student athlete. Hall of Fame athletes set themselves apart from others when it matters the most, and Andrew established early that he was special. As a freshman, he won the New Balance Nationals freshman race in the mile, and big-time performances continued throughout his career. As a sophomore, he was runner-up at the state championships in the 1500 meters and followed that up by winning the following year. In that junior campaign, he also won the indoor 1,000-meter title, the outdoor 1500-meter race, and anchored the winning 4x8-meter team at the outdoor championships. He also finished third at New England's. Additionally, in his junior year, Andrew was a first-team all-division player for the Bulldogs soccer team. By the time his senior season started, Coach Palmer knew he would have a special year, but nobody could predict what was to come. In his first ever cross-country season, Andrew won the class championship, state championship, took second in the New England championship, placed fourth in the Northeast region, and then finished 28th in the national championships. Fatal move of taking the lead about a mile and a half into the race absolutely killed him, but still finished 28th. He became one of just a handful of Rhode Island athletes to have ever qualified for the individual national championship in cross country. In addition, his winning time at the state meet still ranks the 4th fastest ever run in the Pontiac course, which hosts the class and state championships annually and the New England championships every 4 years. He followed that season up by winning for the second straight year the 1,500 meters and 1,000 meter races at the indoor state championships and added the 3,000 meter this time. He proceeded to win the New England championship in the 3,200 meter event and won the mile in the national championships. In his final season as a Bulldog, Andrew won the 800 meters, 1,500 meters, 3,000 meter events, along with anchoring the 4x800 meter relay to victory. His performance helped the Bulldogs win their first ever men's outdoor track and field state championship. He then ran the fastest mile in the country that year in 4 minutes and 2 seconds. The time making him one of the top 20 high school milers in the nation of all time. He left Westerly with state records in the following events: 1,000 meters, 1,500 meters indoors and outdoors, 1,600 meters indoors and outdoors, mile indoors and outdoors, 3,000 meters indoors and outdoors, 3,200 meters indoors and outdoors, and as part of the 4x8 and DMR team, distance medley relay teams. Andrew went on to become a 4-time Big East champion for the Georgetown Hoyas, was a 3-time All-American and an academic All-American. He also competed post-collegiately and finished as high as 13th at the U.S. Championships in the 5,000 meters. Andrew currently works as an analyst for a data science company called Quantify. For the positive influence that you have had on others as a role model and in recognition of your many accomplishments for which you have brought pride and fame to Westerly High School, in addition to the honor and distinction bestowed upon our community, state, you, Andrew Springer, are hereby inducted into the Westerly High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
Thank you for the very kind introduction, Jamie. Appreciate it. So just want to start off by saying how grateful I am to be honored tonight. There's a lot of other great athletes here, and it's really an honor to be recognized along with some other amazing great athletes in this induction class and all those that have come before. Looking back at all the high school time, this is a good time to reflect on a lot of the things that Jamie talked about. And looking back at my time in high school, some of the things that were really important to me is what Jamie talked about. I was really focused on my times on the track, kind of the record times and races and what time I ran in my last race, what time I thought I could run in my next race. And I was very focused on my times on the track. And it's funny that now, I couldn't tell you a lot of what times I ran in any given race. And really what I've realized the most important kind of time is time you spend with other people and the time that you spend supporting others and helping others. And it might seem like tonight is about kind of recognizing some of those record times, but I'd like to take this opportunity really to recognize the people that spent a lot of time to help me achieve the things that I did when I was in high school. So first, need to start with the coaches. Dave Federico and Ryan Palmer, who went by Coach Rock, were my coaches through all of high school, and the time commitment and the amount of time that they put in was really countless hours that went into it. As I said, they were my coaches all 4 years, and I don't remember them ever missing a meet or a practice or anything. They were there every time, every day, start to finish, making sure that I was prepared for whatever was coming up, and the same thing with all my teammates, making sure everyone had what they needed. And I know that there's a big sacrifice that goes into it, and they did it because they wanted to see the success that myself and my teammates could have. And so, very grateful for everything that they did, all my coaches along the way, but especially Fed and Rock. And I'll tell just a quick story about Coach Rock. It was my senior year. I was lucky enough to be invited to run at the Midwest Distance Gala, which was a pretty high caliber meet in high school. A lot of people would say it was the best race I ran in high school. It was the fastest time I ever ran in the mile. And I knew there was going to be a lot of other good runners there, so I was very nervous, as I was for a lot of races, but I think especially nervous before this one, because I knew it was a big race. And I think Brock could tell before, as I was warming up, that maybe my head wasn't right and I was a little bit nervous. So he called me over, and the track happened to be right next to a baseball field where there's a little league game going on. So he kind of pointed out to the kids out there, and he just said, "Look how much fun these kids are having out there." That's really what sports is about. It's about going out there, having a fun time, enjoying yourself, have fun with the people around you, and really that's what you need to focus on. Just going out there, have fun. As I said, racing is fun, competing is fun, running fast is fun. Just go out there and give everything you have and have fun, and the results will come. And kind of having that pep talk from him right before the race, I think really calmed me down, and like I said, it was the best race I ever ran in high school, and a lot of it had to do with the encouragement that I got from him. And I think he was exactly right in that you have to enjoy the things you do if you're going to have long-term success. And for me, a lot of what made track and all sports enjoyable was teammates and spending time with the people on your team. And so the next group I want to recognize is just all the teammates that I had for a few years. I really would not have been able to do any of the things I did without having a good set of teammates there to encourage me and push me. Some other people mentioned it, but track can seem like a very individual sport when you're out there, but nothing's really possible without the people there by your side, your teammates pushing you. And I know Rock and Fed both used to have a good time trying to make practice very difficult and painful for us. And on those times, it really, what gets you through it is having teammates to be there and share that with, and somehow being there with people you care about just makes it a little bit more enjoyable. So thank you to all the teammates along the way. And obviously there's family. My family was always very encouraging and supportive of my athletic career, so we need to say thank you to all my family. I have 3 older brothers who are great athletes themselves, and they were a big inspiration to me when I was in high school. I saw the things they were able to do on the track and on the athletic fields, and it was really a lot of my success had to do with seeing what they did and being inspired and having ambitions to see what was possible based on the things they did. So yeah, thank you for everything that my brothers did for me, and then my parents were always very supportive, and I know they're always very proud of my athletic career, and they got a lot of pleasure from seeing the things that I did, and they put in a lot of time to be there for me and go to all the races and soccer games and everything. I especially want to recognize how much time and energy my mom put in. Some other people have kind of mentioned the same thing, but having a full-time job, I don't know how it was possible that she made it to every track race and every practice and every game I ever had. Just that alone was basically a full-time job, but she somehow found a way to make it work. There were days where I would have a soccer game and a track meet all on the same day, and she was there at both, driving me around. And it was really just an unbelievable time commitment, and I'm grateful for everything she did. So all I can really say is thank you, Mom, and I love you. And yeah, finally, I just want to really say thank you to West Julie High School for putting on this event and the whole West Julie athletic community. I know that my time at West Julie and the lessons learned and people I met here set me up for a lot of things that happened later in life. It led me to being able to continue my athletic career at Georgetown and getting a great education there, which is how I met my amazing fiance Camille, who's here tonight. And it led to the career that I have now, and just a lot of things in my life I can trace back to my time at West Julie. And want to say thank you to Jamie Vitolino, who was the athletic director and did a lot to kind of make all of the sporting events at West Julie High School successful. So the last thing I want to mention is just some advice that Jamie gave me when I was in high school that I think helped me a lot in my athletic career and applies to life outside of athletics as well, and something I've tried to remember. But it was my junior year at the state meet. And as Jamie mentioned, I won 1500 that day and was entered to run 800 later that day. And had very high expectations for that race as well. But unfortunately, this was not a very good race, and it didn't go the way I wanted. I got beat by a lot of people that day, and I was pretty disappointed. Jamie, I think, saw it. I kind of was walking with my head down, and he saw that I was a little disappointed with the result. He came up to me, and he basically told me, he said, Andrew, you got beat today, but those guys out there, they didn't beat you. You beat yourself. I've seen you run a lot of races, and something was different about the race you ran today. You didn't run like you were confident. You didn't run like you thought you were going to win. You gave up before the race even started. And he said, there's going to be races in your life where you lose. You're going to get beat by people. You won't always do the best. But you always have to basically put your best foot forward, and you have to always believe you can win and be confident, and you can never count yourself out before the race starts. You always have to do everything you can to try to do the best, get the best result you can. So just want to say thank you to Jamie for that advice, and I'm glad to be honored in the Hall of Fame. I'm glad I got the opportunity to share that story with all of you, and yeah, thanks for this great honor.
Well, that concludes our program. I appreciate your patience this evening. Thank you again for coming out. I hope you had an enjoyable evening. I hope that you were able to share some of the emotion and joy of our inductees. And we'll have another one for the class of 2021 on April 30th. Same place, different time. It'll be on a Saturday evening. But good night, everyone, and again, we really appreciate your support and continuing to come to our banquets and honor our Hall of Fame inductees. Good night, everyone.